the morning.
He missed. Strike!
If I miss, why is it a strike?
No, you didn't miss. He missed.
Ooh,
yeah,
the batter missed.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mourning, the Morning. My name is Nick Nieblis. This is my co-host, Shawn. We've been trying to keep changing up all these angles. I don't know why I'm talking like iced tea right now. Yo, we've been trying to keep up all these angles.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Iced tea's iconic. Anybody could do iced tea.
Fuck the police.
Whoa! 187 on a mother. Listen. Morning to morning. We've been trying to move the table. We've been trying to move locations. We've been trying to find a nice place for us. And I think we found it. It's the same place, just facing a different direction.
We got some good lighting going on.
Yeah, I got the music stuff in the background.
We're looking sharp. We're looking sharp.
Good slap at the bass.
Yes. Very nice.
Right?
Music makes you happy, right, Nick?
Music makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. You think social media for some people makes them happy?
I think we need to define happiness.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm going to say no on that one, though, because my ideas of happiness and joy have moved closer together. Okay. I've found more of a kinship in my understanding of what those two things are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that happiness is something that should be looked at as not momentary, much like joy that is not momentary. That is something that is, like, I can still, in a circumstance, I could have a flat tire
mm-hmm.
on the side of the road and still maintain a joy and be like, look at my life, though. Look at my life. I got a great life. I got a great wife, kids.
It's a state of mind.
I know, because I think that happiness also can be affected, obviously, by clinical issues and whatnot. Mm-hmm. You know, like chemical imbalances as well as depression and whatever else. So, like, it's tough because I think everybody wants to be happy, but it also means means different things for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people like to just sit and drink a glass of wine by the fire.
Sure. Have you ever?
Some people like to do crazy stuff, like jump out of an airplane. That's when they're most happy. Just.
I could see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
the freedom of that. And I would say that it's probably not even that act of jumping out of that airplane. It's probably also the realization of the ability to do so. I mean, the means to be able to do so. You know what I mean? Like Travis Pastrana, for example, that dude is obviously like a thrill seeker, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
he's not happy unless he's.
Well, that's the thing. I would say that the way that he's kind of pursued his happiness, and like he's living his life, mm-hmm. right? He's pursuing his dream of. I can imagine if he had an intense passion for, being a certified public accountant, like the Travis Pastrana CPA network would probably be like the most intense, in-your-face CPA network available. What I'm saying though is like, Travis, what's up, man? You ready to do this? You ready to file?
Is my taxes done?
You ready to file?
I'm ready.
Woo! How's your deduction, fucking baby?
Really good.
Yeah, you looking at those deductions? All right, here we go. You ready for this? Say it with me. 4,
hey, I'm not ready.
1,
no!
Yay!
Yeah.
But like, it's not like, I'm sure he gets a rush from doing that. But here's the thing: I think his happiness comes from being able to do that for his life and getting paid for it.
Completely.
And even if he wasn't getting paid for it, he'd still be doing that.
Completely.
And I think that like that's a good indication of things that make you happy. Things that you would do if nobody else, if there was no limit,
mm-hmm.
and or there was no restriction or nobody stopped. I keep saying the same thing over and over. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's no obstacle getting in his way. And
yeah.
even if there is, the happiness of getting around it.
He would still do it, though.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like,
and money isn't always everything, because now there's this whole.
We don't get paid to do this. I don't know if you guys know.
We enjoy this.
Nobody pays us anything.
Mm-mm.
to do this. This is an excuse for me and Shawn to just hang out.
Yeah. And money's not everything. Like, there's this whole minimalist movement.
Cream. Cash rules everything around me.
But there's people that had money and were trying to live their life by buying all this stuff they thought would give them happiness.
Okay.
And now they're removing it.
Do you think that's that minimal? Part of me, though, still makes me feel like that is still missing the point. Isn't it? Like, you're like, oh, I bought all this stuff, but you know what's going to make me happy? Getting rid of all of this stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with the stuff.
Right. I think
it has everything to do with this.
Well, I think there's more than that.
You know what I mean? Like if somebody buys a bunch of stuff to feel happy about themselves, and then they get rid of all that stuff to feel happy about themselves.
Well, they realized they were choking on all those things. And
That's
it didn't
the thing.
Bring happiness.
There's got to be a self-realization that comes along with that.
I had that when I was like, I had a goal. I'm going to buy this Lexus. It's going to make me happy. Walked in, cash, boom, bought that Lexus. I remember driving around. I'm like, this is hot. Like, this is fun.
How long? How long until?
I parked in the garage, and I'm like, okay, well, I achieved it, but I'm still me here. Like, I'm still.
Now what?
Yeah. All right. Time to go buy a hooker.
Did you ever regret buying that?
No.
You never regret.
It just didn't bring any happiness. I like I said,
you liked it. It was still comfortable.
I had pictures of it.
Yeah.
I put it up. It was a goal of mine. I wanted a nice car. I've always driven crap my whole life, and you know.
If you could have replaced that goal with a different goal, what do you think it would? What do you think a more better goal would be?
A more better goal. Yeah. Oh, immediately right off the dome, travel.
Oh.
I wish because experiences.
You can keep those experiences forever.
Right there.
Right in the noggin bottom. Yep.
I had fun with that car. I
souped it up. Right in the head sled.
Head sled.
Noggin toboggan. Head sled.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's a new one.
The noggin toboggan.
And the head sled.
I like it. Yeah.
The me skate.
Nice. The snowboard gourd. Oh.
Oh, God.
Being silly makes us happy.
Something about a Zamboni. I don't know. Let's move on.
Zamboni. What makes you happy?
Are people tuning in? No, they're not. Okay, so it would make us happy if you tuned in.
Yeah, well.
I don't know how you can hear this message without tuning in. So, look, here's what's happening.
As if there's knobs for tuning.
Right. Oh, now let's turn the UHF knob.
Yeah, you're going to there.
Go ahead and just turn the UHF knob. I'm just going to grab one side of it here. Just
you're a little snowy.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Is that scrambled porn?
Don't move.
No.
Oh, scramble porn.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
That made me happy back in the day. That was like finding money.
Oh, I feel like you keep equating happiness to circumstances.
Yeah.
You know what made me happy? You know what? Somebody touched my ding dong. That made me real happy. Somebody touched my ding dong and it made me wow. Oh, goodness gracious. You had somebody touch a ding dong and then you feel like wow.
Fantastic. I think most of our audience starts tuning in around lunch. Right when I'm truly mourning in the morning. This morning.
You are mourning. You are mourning.
I'm in my pajamas.
This morning.
I haven't showered. I'm a hot mess.
I have showered. I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
Why? I've been waking up earlier and earlier, and
Are you asking why you're
earlier?
And you go to bed late too.
My man, look, it has been insane for me lately.
You've been exercising.
Nope.
That'll really wear you out.
I haven't been exercising.
The energy.
I have not been exercising.
Oh, you've been eating really well.
Have not been eating terrible.
Oh, okay.
Just eating anything and everything I want. Candy, ice cream.
Wife's got you up late.
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely. She goes to sleep before I do.
Okay.
Every single time.
Okay.
Every single time. Yeah. I don't know what it is, man.
What's going on with you, buddy?
I know, that's making me happier.
Oh, it is?
I'm digging it.
Okay.
Because by the time, like, for example, like you come around, I've been awake for like 5 hours already.
Sounds like a song lyric.
By the time you
come around.
I've been awake for 5 hours already.
That's right.
Okay. What style?
Jason Mraz.
Capo. What's the lyric again?
By the time you come around, it's been 5 hours.
And by the time you come down, it's been 5 hours and down. Watch you sing along, won't you come around? Lord, I got love, not but enough, not enough, but I know. Ooh, no. Jason Mraz.
Ow!
Jason Mraz.
The Italian stylings of Nicholas Niebles. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, those are deadly, dude.
Woo!
Careful now.
You gotta be careful. I
Yeah.
got 24 frames per second right now. It's gonna add just enough motion blur that is gonna be like that's what you see in normal
really
life.
messing him up.
24 frames per
Right.
second.
Yeah.
I realized I looked at. You know what makes me happy? Learning.
Mm,
Learning makes me happy.
it's a good feeling.
Do you know what? Because I was looking at
What's the last thing you learned?
YouTubes. The tubes of you. I was looking
Tubes
at, right?
of you.
Which we are currently on streaming live.
Damn!
And it was talking about film cameras and stuff like that. And it was talking about this thing. It's like the whole 180/1 thing. I don't know. But it's in such a way that you can change the shutter speed.
Okay.
And those films, I always wondered what made those films like Gladiator, you know, where that it made the action look so intense.
Right.
And the way that the guy described it, he was saying that the shutter speed matters because at 24 frames per second, you see the exact kind of motion blur that the normal eye sees.
Okay.
However, if you have more frames per second, and of course that's depending on, there's other things, I don't know the whole thing about it. But if you have more frames per second and you shoot it in such a way,
Slow it down?
you get rid of the motion blur,
Okay.
and instead you see like every single frame
crisp.
of hand, and
Okay.
it's really crisp.
Okay.
And that's what all those like really intense like action shots are.
Because it's catching more of the light that comes in.
Yeah, it's catching like every single frame is like,
Yeah,
you know, if you were to stop it all. So it's fascinating stuff, and I was like, I want to like shoot something like that now.
Yeah.
Like, just like playing with your kids, just like it's all like, Gah! Gah!
That's why we need a good camera. We need a good camera. Because
We gotta buy one.
Well, we could get our fans to
No one is watching, Shawn.
to fund us.
How are we gonna do that? We just can't come with our own money. You know what though? I had this wife of mine. She has a job.
Oh, the J-O.
Your wife has a job too.
B.
J-O-B.
J-O-B-B.
Get us a Valentine's gift. So what we could do
Yeah, let's get that going. Let's get that going.
is
How much happiness will we get out of that? Being able to create and to record. It'd be so great. So great.
I like being happy. You ever walk around and think like, life is good.
Mm-hmm.
Life is good. I'm happy.
I can tell.
What?
I've been places. Just like at the store, you know what I mean? You can tell when you're in line, you're just like, I want to engage with all these people, let them know how happy I am.
Me?
Me?
You?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just at the store, I want to, and you can immediately, when someone in your vicinity, you can tell is not happy. This, yeah. That's right.
Can you just move your avocado forward, please?
Hey.
You just move your there's a
It's a good
divider
source
here.
of fat, my man. It's a good source. I'm just saying, it's a good source of fat. I recommend them. They're not ripe yet, but oh dang. Hey man. What's eating you, my man?
Are you talking to me?
Oh, I was. Yeah, I'm sorry. You talked to me. You engaged me first. You were talking about that.
No, I didn't engage you. I just asked you to move your avocados.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
I've never put one of those rubber dividers down.
Well, that's incredibly rude.
Why is that rude?
The divider is your responsibility as the person who approaches.
Oh, I don't believe that to be so.
Wow.
No.
Tell you what, I'll just put the divider back. We'll just have the old Wild West here. We don't even know whose vegetables are whose. Looks like I'm going to get me some avocados today. I heard they're really good fat.
I recommend them.
So I'll just take these avocados then, and then you won't have any avocados to have then. How about that?
That's all right. Seems like you needed more. Just saying. Easy. I see you went with the Keebler. The Keebler. Okay.
You can have your avocados back.
So you went with the Keebler.
I'm just trying to prove a point. Please don't mention let my cookies alone. I'm not even gonna get those. I don't need anybody.
It's probably a good idea. You're not the best.
You know what? I'm gonna make my own choices. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna make my own choices.
That's clear.
And I'm deciding I'm gonna have this on the belt until later. And maybe I might pick it off and decide not to get it. But it's not gonna be contingent upon what you say or do. Okay? Okay?
All right. Are you using a check? Good God! She's writing a fucking check. I had to
Find the button.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing improv festivals and shit? We should. Right?
Mm-hmm. People will enjoy it.
I think so.
Do you think our two-man improv has been easier than having a group of improv?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Only because it's harder to be on the same page with a big group.
Yeah. It's
You
like
and
10
I-
people standing at a 4-burner stove trying to all cook.
Yeah. So there's got to be some kind of anecdote or some kind of like phrase that people use. I don't know. It's fine. But really trying out that motion blur. 20 frames are
I try to beat them. I try to beat the blur.
You can't.
I can't.
What? Caught me right here.
Yeah.
I enjoy performing. Performing makes me happy. Performing gives me a high.
Yeah.
That is unmatched. Being on stage and whatnot. Being on stage is like a blur sometimes, like after the fact. Okay, you feel like that?
Yeah, I get that a little bit, but when you can feel the crowd, I think, and you have their attention. You know what I mean? Like they're there, and you're like,
I know what you
I know, no, I know, and I like that. It's not just a rush, but I want. Take off your shirt.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. It is a rush. It does. It's.
Which I don't understand about other people who don't want that.
Oh, some people don't.
Nobody wants that.
My wife doesn't want that.
A lot of people don't want
Your wife doesn't want that. Some people are just, it's not their thing.
It is interesting to me. I love that some people, their entire lives are their families.
Okay.
I love that some people, their entire lives are that one singular goal that they are focused on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to be in school until I'm 50.
I have a friend like that.
Yeah.
Eric West.
What up, Eric? Are you happy, my man?
But, I love seeing people do things that make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
I also love, though, when people can just be happy just being. And I think that that's really what it comes down to. Like, I hear so many interviews and stuff about people talking about, Hollywood acting, producing, directing, writing, all that kind of stuff, where the moment that they realized they started doing well is when they found their happiness within themselves and within, their family and those types of things, those kinds of foundational things. Yeah. And I think that's incredibly important.
Our family's important to us. Makes us
most
happy.
important. Most important thing to me. It's my wife and my children.
They make me happy. Even in moments of
strife, discontentment, anger, resentment.
No resentment, but
vacuum of desolation, straight void of love. You suck it dry. But
what you get out of that. The lesson that's taught, or the lesson that's learned, in fact. I've learned some lessons just from interaction with my kids about how I react to myself and how I can be better to make them better.
Absolutely. I have to apologize to my kids all the time. I'm just like, you know, like, hey, Jay, get us out! And it's like, Daddy may have overreacted. I apologize. Did not realize that Mommy said this was okay.
That looks just like someone who spent a lot of time, a couple tours in like Nam, just flashbacks, PTSD. Hey, you, Charlie!
Which I'm also helping to help with psilocybin.
Is that right?
No. I've been doing a lot of reading. I love learning. I do a lot of reading on like all of the like old research of like all these drugs that were all outlawed in like the 80s, essentially, that used to be all medicinal uses and stuff. Fascinating.
Way to go, Reagan.
Fascinating.
Way to go, Nancy.
And Nixon.
Nancy.
Reagan. Both of them.
Mm-hmm. Nixon
Boy.
kicked it off. For sure. Think this guy was happy?
I never lose. I either win or learn. Nelson Mandela. Okay. Failure is a learning opportunity, my friends. There are no such things as mistakes.
I think being
Gifts.
unhappy is living in failure.
Ooh, I think that's accurate. I think reliving your own failures over and over is what is causing that cycle of unhappiness, right? Mm-hmm. I think we probably put too much emphasis on happiness, honestly, because
that's absurd.
Happiness is so circumstantial, though. You know, I think in the same way that I think we need to understand that there's like a forward feeling that everyone has of like their circumstances that affects them, and then there's a core understanding of like the solidity of who you are as a person, you know, and solace in your own maturity and development and love that you have for yourself and for people around you.
I believe circumstance, I think, is important because you're happy as a kid for the most part.
Regardless of circumstance.
Well, unless the circumstance is so far beyond your control that you're now living.
As a kid, you don't know.
You don't know until it's
circumstance. Until it's obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
And then somehow you're trying to be an adult and find happiness. Then I think wisdom comes with that. Wisdom experiences, oh, well, I don't need to do that, or making this mistake is not making me happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I make a lot of mistakes constantly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about
I made a
it.
mistake coming out of the house in my pajamas today. I'm still happy.
You're looking good. You guys, those aren't even pajama pants. They're like
they're not
nice echo
My
pants.
pajamas is my birthday suit. So.
Yeah, baby, I sleep naked too.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go again.
My wife's always worried that, well, what if an intruder comes in? Then I'm going to fight that bitch.
Yeah. I mean, look, what's going to be more
What
scary?
if I just walk out and go, ha-ha!
You want to do this, bro? You want to do this?
Baby oil, baby oil, baby oil.
Woo! Let's do this, baby. Oh, I've been waiting. Come on!
That's right.
I agree. Look, if I'm naked, I generally know where my pants are.
Yeah, they're usually in reach. I can grab some, even a sheet, something, if I gotta go and check a
I'll
straight
put a
sound.
towel on and Van Damme it, man.
Yeah.
Put a towel
Ooh.
on. Top cops, what's that? Sit it.
The flying
That was my
double
leg,
slit.
because I can't put my leg up this high. Because the leg.
Sit it. Yep. Nice.
He dabs with his leg.
He does. He does dab with his leg. The original. The originator.
We need to, you know what? You need to write a reboot of Time Cop.
Ooh. Never seen Time Cop.
That's what we gotta watch together, baby. This Friday night.
Kids, your wife said we look like DJs at a party.
Yo, what's up, everybody? We got Nick and Shawn on the ones and twos. Let me hear ya. Oh. We got Nick and Shawn on the ones and twos. I said, let me hear ya. Woo!
Yeah, you have a request?
Yeah, turn it off.
Why? We're kicking ass over here.
Can't drop some shit like that and not expect us to pick it up and
Oh,
run.
yeah. Your wife making fun of us.
What is the core happiness thing? She's always happiest to me to, let's see, when she says things like whenever there's like something that's like difficult and she works it out.
Okay.
You know, like working through a tough issue makes her happy, I think.
So once she figures and works you out, she will find...
That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Sure.
Know thyself is what I say. I said that. Know thyself. I don't know if you ever heard that before. Phrase that I coined.
Okay.
Know thyself.
Know thyself.
It's about knowing.
Sure.
Noggin toboggan. Head sled. The me ski.
The snowboard cord. I don't know. That's all.
And the Zamboni Razzaroni.
The Zamboni Razzaroni.
What other snow vehicles do we have?
I like. Do you also like when you teach somebody something?
Yes. I like seeing people like get something. Like they get it. You know. I don't know if I get as much. I don't know.
It's more of a fleeting moment. Like it's satisfying, but I don't think that necessarily.
I like it. I like seeing people inspired, whether I'm inspiring them or not. Like I don't take that
because you like to be inspired.
I love being inspired. You know, I don't see anybody who wouldn't like to be inspired. Sometimes I don't like being inspired when it's sometimes like, man, that's telling me that I need to get off my ass and go do something.
Okay.
Gosh.
Again, that's know thyself, I guess.
Guess I gotta go do something.
Yeah.
You know?
If you could go get me a bubble water, that'd be great. You don't have to do it right in the middle of the show. But I appreciate your yes and. That's awesome.
Yo, man, look here. I'm gonna be wearing one of these for a while.
Okay.
I'm either gonna be wearing a hat or a beanie for a while.
Okay.
Because I'm in this transitionary period of hair.
Okay.
This is all growing.
I'm going to be growing mine out as well.
I'm growing this for a while.
That's awesome. Just see what happens, yeah?
Just see what happens.
It's long, yeah. It's getting there.
You know what I mean?
It's getting there.
This makes me happy.
Okay.
Doing things that I have control over makes me happy.
Oh!
I think that's something. Like,
and this is one of those things where you get to look at a mirror every day. And you're just like...
Well, that makes me happy, too. Just
shit.
Taking a look at myself. I mean, every Tuesday, Thursday, I get to see myself on video, mirrored.
You could never be a vampire.
It's a deep cut to the vampire lore, but I can see that. I also do have an affinity for garlic, so...
Yes.
You know, I also often stake myself through the heart.
Being a
vampire,
why would you?
Being a vampire is no good for me.
Is that just building up immunity? Is
Right,
that what you
yeah.
just... you don't do all the way. You just gotta
you
pierce it.
Yeah, you build up immunity to wood.
Right, okay.
Yeah. This way wood cannot hurt me.
I got you.
Tree fell on me the other day. Not a scratch.
Not a scratch?
Not a scratch.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How's your heart take laminate? Like if I was to come in and just...
No. I have not built up my laminate defenses
Oh, okay.
yet.
I got you.
I'm working on ceramics.
Okay.
Yeah, porcelain and ceramics is what I'm working on right now. I'm taking edges of floor tiles, ceramic floor tiles,
Okay.
breaking them. Those things get razor sharp right in the chest.
Good for you, man. That's just being proactive about
It's
your vampire.
painful, and I don't think it's working.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't know this, but I've been slowly, and you know that prick you feel every once in a while? That's me. I've been pumping garlic into you.
To build up immunity of garlic?
Yeah.
Is that why I've been needing more and more garlic to satisfy my garlic needs?
Yeah.
Is that why my body entirely smells like garlic?
Yeah, sorry, bud. Why'd you stop wearing the cape, by the way? I thought that was a good look for you. You know what I mean?
It didn't match all the leather I wanted to wear.
Oh, okay.
It was velvet.
Mm.
Velvet and leather's like, well, nah. You know what I mean?
I like mythological creatures. Is that mythology? The
vampire? Nah.
Werewolf.
Well, they're like...
The griffin. What is the griffin? That's an eagle.
That would be more mythological.
Right.
But
I made that point to my...
These monsters, though, like vampires, werewolves, they're not that old. They're not like olden gods.
No.
But I think that they probably have things steeped in,
There has to be something.
like
there.
ideas of gods or beings who can suck life from people, and do so in the form of blood or drinking blood. I'm sure is probably it back there. When you realize like all those things like about these modern day monsters and even religious stories and whatnot, you can trace these things back to realize that they're like millennia old stories of like happening the exact same ways.
Right.
Of floods, of of resurrecting of the dead, of like all those kind of things.
Sure. I like monsters. Monsters are fun. Monsters in cinema are
Monster
fun.
lore is fun. I like that.
I like vampires. If there was vampires today, they would just get their blood on Amazon. Like I feel like it would not be PC to be killing people.
It's definitely not PC to kill people. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
Regardless of vampires existing or not.
I just heard about it.
It's not PC to kill people, Shawn.
Okay. Just saying.
Definitely politically correct to let people live.
Okay.
So.
Well, certain people.
No. I am for living.
Like, I would just target people that are over 90 or people that have disease because they're not.
What do you got against the elderly?
Well, they're not going to last much longer.
But let them live their life. They are not the ones. I mean, start on the other end if you want to do anything.
I feel like people would give you a pass on some of those.
Upwards of 90?
Mm-hmm. 90 plus?
Greatest generation.
If I was 90, I'd be inviting it.
Shoot me. Come here, son.
Come in.
Come in. Hey.
No,
shoot your old pop in the head. Hey, I know I got my...
Sure, Dad?
I got my faculties about me, I know.
But you're getting around really well.
Oh, yeah, what? Plenty.
I mean,
98.
I can't believe you eat, like...
4 slabs of bacon.
Fried peanut butter
bacon,
sandwiches. Yeah.
Peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, you drink at least a half a fifth of
Half
scotch
a fifth.
day.
Half a fifth. It's a full fifth, you
Are
son
you
of a
drinking
bitch.
a full bottle?
It's a full fifth, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So tell me, 750 milliliters every single day. Single malt!
Half a fifth a day.
Tired of living this life. I'm living too long. If I keep living, I'm going to live too long. I'm going to live forever.
It's a $25 a day habit, Pop. Like,
did I ask you how much it costs, you son of a bitch?
I feel like we need to reevaluate the Social Security in this country.
Oh, really?
I feel like you're taking it from me.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, I got a purple heart that says you shut your goddamn mouth.
Always with the purple heart, Pop. You bring up the purple heart all the time.
It's
right?
what the doctor gave me.
I understand.
After I dodged the draft.
We love Pop. That's a great character.
he's a super entitled old man who hates the military,
who didn't do anything.
Who didn't do anything with his life, but like claims all like he's the golden age.
Yeah.
I'm the best I'm the golden generation. I built this country. After I dodged that stupid draft, spent all of the 60s and 70s and 80s up in Canada with a Mountie named Saskatchewan.
That character makes me happy. Now, my daughter had these books that was like, had a unicorn.
Yeah.
Had the Pegasus.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking,
what about a Pegasus?
A Pegasus. You have all these mythological horses, but there's no monster love for the donkey.
The chupacabra.
Is that a donkey?
No.
Oh, okay.
It is the Mexican goat sucker, I believe.
The Mexican? No,
which is more akin
goats
to the
are getting
vampire.
love.
Which is more akin to the vampire.
Yeah. The goat sucker.
In Australia, you got to worry about drop bears.
Drop bears?
Drop bears.
What's that?
Very aggressive koalas.
Oh, okay. They drop out of the tree on top. Just jump on
Yep.
Could you imagine?
Cut you up, man.
Could you imagine? They do have sharp
They jump
claws.
on your head and they try and cut the fuck out of you.
They try and cut you. Come here. Aggressively cuddle. Come here. They are pretty damn cute. I love me a good koala bear. Can you have them as pets? I mean, you can have any wild animal, I guess, as pets, it seems. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Listen to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. I know that you're gonna have it your way or nothing at all.
Nice. Happiness. It's
a fleeting mistress.
Mm-hmm.
We're always trying to be happy, right? Life, liberty, and happiness. Pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Constitutional right, baby.
When's the last time you were like seriously, not to go too deep, but like unhappy, just miserable, unhappy? No matter what you did, you tried.
No.
I got pull yourself out of that.
There's very specific times in the last several years of my life where I've made changes because of that unhappiness, and those changes have often come from times of personal failure, like getting fired from a job, or 7. Who's counting? Kidding.
There's like an extensive board.
There's an Excel spreadsheet.
Wow. She sat me down and showed me a PowerPoint.
I've lost nearly every job I've held.
Okay.
Or almost lost every nearly. Like,
you've quit some of them, right?
I have, but even then it was like writing was on the wall.
It was coming. When you know.
But for me, I think that realizing what didn't make me happy was what ultimately drew me towards things that made me happy.
Yeah.
Losing my job initially a few years ago helped me realize that after about a month, maybe 6 weeks of online video gaming, far too much of it, I realized this is not something, because I was even considering like, maybe I should just stream. I'll just be a streamer full time, just 8 hours every single day, you know, and I don't have the time to dedicate to that. Like, that's insane. I have kids.
Takes a lot of equipment.
I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done it with all the equipment and stuff. It's not a big deal. But I shouldn't do it because, like, I'm a 33-year-old man at the time, and I'm like, look, if I really wanted to, I'm not passionate about it.
So you know all the streamers are usually 30 plus.
I wasn't passionate about it. Here's the thing, though. It wasn't my thing. I wasn't passionate about it. It wasn't something. It was an avenue in which I could see myself doing it because it was similar to things
I'm already doing it.
You know what I mean? So, but then I realized, no, I need to change focus on writing, performing, acting, improvisation, you know, learning about the film industry, all that kind of stuff. After that, we directed and shot that short that we starred in, the soda can tab standoff that we have up.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Check it out.
It'll blow your mind.
I don't even think it's on the Mourning YouTube channel. Posted up on there.
Why is it not?
I don't know.
Where is it then?
It's on mine. But yeah, after we did that, you know, I started auditioning for stuff and getting roles and realizing that, like, of course,
you moved.
Yeah,
changed your geographical.
It all started here, though. I made the decision because I was unhappy that I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wanted to be, like, you know, acting, performing, all that kind of stuff, but I hadn't taken any real steps towards doing those things. I was unhappy, so the thing that made me realize that, like, what would help me along is realizing my happiness comes from inside, and that if I can be the best father I could be, and I can be the best husband I can be, and I can be the best friend that I can be, and I can look back on all of that 40, 50 years from now and say, I was those things, then I can be happy. And if I never achieve anything else in life, then so be it.
You asked me that same question because I was talking about, like, I just deal with my kids all day and I'm trying to scrape the happiness out of that. but I was...
Fantastic way to put it.
I was miserable.
Scrape it.
Scrape it. It was a struggle because of my own state of mind where I was at that time. But you asked me that. You said, if that's all you did was raise your kids right, would that be enough? And I had to listen to that question. I'm like, it would. It would be enough if that's all I did. I want more. You know what I mean? Like, I want more. But if I raise them at the end of the day, at the end of my life, and I'm on my deathbed, and I look up at my beautiful children and realize that they had failed me because I'm in this state, or no.
How dare you let me down?
I'm only 51! What is going wrong?
Yeah.
For sure, man. Lifelong goal. Happiness.
I'm of a dual
Because you can do it
about it.
You can do this on a small. When if you decide like, hey, as a family, you know what? We're not going to clean up this mess, or we're not going to go take care of that. We're gonna
go do something different.
We're gonna have more fun. We're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
That's happening.
It happened last weekend. We were
right.
Oh man, this house is a mess. Let's all get cleaned up. Next thing we know, we're putting on shoes. Come on, everybody, we're going to Disneyland.
Yep. Happiest place on earth.
No, where did we take everybody?
Because of that tagline, I'm always looking for people that are miserable. Like just walking around. Like, no, that guy, he didn't get it. He didn't get the
wife
memo.
did go to Disneyland the other day.
Just
we have
the two
passes.
of you?
Yeah, we have passes now. I got her. I got us passes for Christmas.
Okay.
And I mean, she got us passes really because I don't have a job. But it's our money.
You took the baton and ran with it, my man. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, so we went, and it's cool because we could just go for a few hours and then peace out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's been fun. It's been real fun.
I've heard that's a good time without the kids.
It's not bad. I mean, honestly, we just hung out together, and it was just like us being able to like we went on a couple rides, but
it's an easy place to hang out. There's plenty to do. You're in line. You got to talk.
You can walk around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. There's always shows going on.
Do you have just Disneyland, or do you have?
We have Disneyland. Well, here's the thing. What happened?
What is that called? A park hopper? For both of them?
Oh, I think we can go California Adventure too.
Adventure.
I don't know.
You don't
California
know?
Adventure can suck it. What do
Why?
What do they have there?
Oh, it's so much better.
You're better.
I am. I am officially better than Disney. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Watched Tarzan this morning. My dog.
Tarzan, you said?
1999.
Tarzan, you
Tarzan.
said? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Might I suggest?
Raised in the Jungle.
Might I suggest Brendan Fraser's Encino Man?
I like Brendan Fraser's Encino Man. It's one of those nostalgic things.
I love Brendan Fraser in general.
I know this about you.
I would love to see Brendan Fraser.
The world now knows this about
in
you.
everything. Brendan Fraser is the epitome. I think he's the world's greatest actor. He is the.
Wow. I think he has like 3 Razzies.
How dare you? Brendan Fraser is a gift to cinema. Okay. I have never had more fun watching someone on screen than Brendan Fraser.
What makes you happy is...
It's a piece of puzzle.
Okay. Okay.
What makes me happy, Shawn? In your wisdom. Brendan Fraser makes me happy.
Low rent movies makes me happy. We're starting a new stream. We're starting a new stream next week on Fridays. Tune in. It'll be
8 p.m.
It'll be films that are accessible from like Netflix or Prime. We'll probably go with Netflix because everyone has that.
Everybody has Netflix.
And we'll tell you when to start, and you can watch with us. Maybe something you've already seen before. Might be something new.
Showtime will probably be like 8:10,
Mm-hmm.
8:15.
Because we gotta get our popcorn.
We gotta get our popcorn, get our snacks.
We gotta get ready.
Gotta say hello.
Uh-huh.
You can join us. Then you can just tune in on your own thing. We need to make like a video and just promote that video of us just being like, "What up, everybody?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Good. Great.
And we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna see. You're gonna get to see how we react to them.
What are we watching? Do you know? You're picking the first one?
I'm picking the first one.
And you know?
I don't know yet. We had talked about maybe picking one we both haven't seen yet, just to kind of give people that.
What about some link later?
Some link letter?
Link later?
Link letter?
Link later?
Okay.
Richard? Dick?
Oh, Dick Linkletter.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Get down with some of that.
Okay. Have you seen it? Oh, you just watched a movie about Stanley Kubrick. Have you seen
I
it?
did. I just watched a movie about Leon Vitali. Yeah. Not related to Mario.
You want to talk about someone who seek out his happiness.
That dude, that dude basically gave up his entire acting career to.
He was good
to fulfill.
He was good.
Stanley Kubrick's passions, and he loved every minute of it. I guess, right?
I didn't see why
he was on his way. Did you watch that doc?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was on his way up through acting and everything. He was like on, he was on.
People question him. You're gonna do
You're gonna be an assistant to a director?
He wrote on his application, film worker.
Yeah.
He didn't even have
He didn't have a title.
Yeah,
just like an assistant to Stanley Kubrick.
Essentially, he'd be a production assistant.
Which
PA,
I saw a Hollywood Reporter roundtable with Jordan Peele.
Okay.
No, sorry, not Jordan Peele. This one had Ryan Gosling, Robert Duvall, Mark Ruffalo, and I think
were they promoting a film?
No, they're just all talking.
Okay.
They're all like just talking. You know, ever seen these roundtables?
Sure.
The Hollywood Reporter. And they're all talking, and Robert Duvall starts talking shit on Kubrick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He says that the performances in The Shining were the worst he's ever seen.
Wow.
Robert Duvall. And Ryan Gosling sitting next to Robert Duvall goes, which, when you're Robert Duvall, you're like, I don't give any fucks.
I guess,
which I can
if Gosling had said it, I'd be like, just stop.
Right, shut your mouth,
Shut
Ryan.
up.
Shut
Just
up,
be
pretty.
quiet. But when Duvall does it, it's like, okay.
Everyone on the table's like,
Oh, boy.
he can say what he wants.
Yes.
Well, because
Wow.
I somewhat understand.
Have you seen The Shining?
I have not yet. Part of me understands that, look, if you're having actors go through 100 takes of something, for me, have stand-ins, number one, to make sure that you can get all your shots and all the angles that you want. Because Kubrick would, with his eye camera, not even like a full camera, but with his camera, you know, down here, on the floor, up top, here, and he'd be having people do full rehearsals the whole time he's just setting up the shot.
Yeah, it's tiresome.
And then when he's actually doing the shot, he'd have him do full, you know, the whole thing all the way through.
Right.
And for me, that is tiring to an act. Now, I get that if you're trying to get that weariness, you know, from that actor, but even then, allow an actor to act. Right? I mean...
Absolutely. And I look at surprising he said The Shining. Yes, there's some actors who, we're talking about Jack Nicholson here, like, he was in a psychotic state. So if you were to take it out of context and just, like, watch this one scene and be like, oh, that's kind of, it feels goofy. Like, I get that. But the context of the whole thing of him going crazy in this hotel, who's to say what that looks like? I think Stanley knew exactly what he wanted it to look like. And so I don't know if
that's
I agree with Robert Duvall. But
now that's something I would say that from just that Leon documentary. Absolutely, I think freaking Kubrick knew exactly what he wanted, and that was kind of the problem. Like you see his notes of like each frame of film of saying how much coloration it needs from here or there, and how much needs to be warmed up or cooled down, and
you say he didn't allow the collaborative element to come in. To allow those, and I don't know if that's true or not.
I think
his films are great. Have you seen Clockwork Orange?
Nope.
Oh boy.
I don't think I've seen
Full Metal Jacket.
Nope.
Oh my God! The story of Arlie Ermey getting that role as the drill instructor, like he was a real drill instructor.
Yeah. Well, he even said he was like, "This is my role. Like I'm gonna make this happen."
Yeah.
And then he even that was a great.
What's your excuse? Excuse for what, sir? I'm asking the bucket questions. Classic. So that's essentially two movies. It's two movies. There's like literally
there's
the first
boot camp
half,
and then there's war,
and
right?
Then there's war, yeah. Both incredible. Both incredible. But yeah, I mean, it's the guy's a genius. Space Odyssey, 2001.
Haven't seen that yet.
That's the movie that kind of set Leon on that journey. He's like, this is the greatest film I've ever seen.
He saw right, and then he was in Barry Lyndon.
Well, he wanted to work for Stanley Kubrick,
and that's when he got Barry Lyndon, right?
Right.
Which I've never even heard of Barry Lyndon before that documentary.
Oh, okay.
How many Kubrick films are there?
He's got a lot of probably early work, but his obviously he came on the scene with The Clockwork Orange. Or Barry Lyndon, Space Odyssey, 2001. Those are that's his main canon.
The dude, like
he did Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise,
right?
And Kid.
There was that scene in Clockwork Orange where the guy's walking through the hallway and it's all mirrored hallways. I'm just like, how intense is that of a set design? Like, geez.
And with the lens that he used, that kind of brought almost everything into like it almost looked like a fisheye, but it wasn't. It had that.
It's like everything was.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
no, but that's
Could one say that? I feel like anybody. Look, I think there's a fine line here to ride because anybody who would love to have the accolades and admiration and adoration of Kubrick, right? Everybody would love that kind of success, but at the same time, that I can't imagine that kind of genius isn't tortured. It's like having perfect pitch, being surrounded by chaos. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I feel like if somebody that meticulous, just he'd be incredibly unhappy with a lot of stuff.
You would be unhappy, or he's unhappy with himself.
I would assume so. I would assume somebody who is that meticulous about what he wants to do and what he thinks of film and whatever else. I don't know. I would assume so that it would be a little bit tortured.
But he's also making. I think he's making a choice. He could have chose to go. Do you think he would have that torture in anything he did if it wasn't filmmaking? Because of his, because of that.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably a personal thing, that it's not just like incited by what he's choosing to do. I think it's incited also by just the person.
But that person's probably gonna. But that's a person who's artistic. You know what I mean? So he's gonna do something with art and whatever it is, it's going to torture him. Yeah.
I can feel that way sometimes. I'm sure you can too. Like if you're trying to do something and it's just not right, it's just not getting there. But then, most of us can move on from it and not be like, well,
I remember, dude, I was
1,000 takes.
Yeah, I was in a production last year, and the first couple of, I just remember I was getting frustrated because I felt that I wasn't getting the character right. And everyone's like, no, it's great. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I'm like, I don't feel like it's right. No, it's great. It's fine. No, it's not. So yeah, I was torturing myself over.
What would you have preferred from your cast members instead of telling you it was good?
I think because I know them, because they're just really sweet and like the one cast member, my friend Pete, he gave me constructive criticism. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. I didn't necessarily take it. I listened to what he had to say, and I'm like, oh, okay. Let me try and that's just his perspective of what he's seeing. It's close to.
I'd be like, what do you mean?
Oh,
what
great,
do you need, man?
Great.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're struggling through something, what do you need? You need to just run that line over and over again. You find this character.
Right.
So,
absolutely. Yeah, but when I leave the set, for the most part, I go home and I'm Shawn again. Like I let that go. But if someone like Stanley Kubrick, all day, like, oh boy, I gotta get this, that.
That's tough, man. I like being able to step away from the artistic side of things and just live life and not be,
and watch unartistic movies. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you.
We should watch The Fifth Element. That's a good movie.
See,
that's a good movie.
Rather than experience something critically acclaimed,
The Fifth Element is incredibly acclaimed.
I like that movie too.
And then we'll also watch Stargate. Good movie.
I don't think it's a great movie.
I didn't say great. I said good.
Okay. It's a good movie.
Great movie.
It's fun. It's fun. You're like, I like the way they put it all together.
Spader, bro.
He was great. I thought he was great, but the whole with the alien and Ra and like
Douglas
was silly. Kurt Russell.
I
think you're thinking Kurt Russell. I like that little. I wanted more of that.
Russell. Yeah, you wanted more Russell?
Well, he was struggling with the loss of his child because the kid shot himself.
Yeah, the death wish.
Right. There was a lot of plots going on in that. And then there's
the character is what made it exciting.
Aliens. Politics. Child killing. It was rough.
It's like a dog's opinion. All right, folks. For Mourning, I feel like we have provided a fair insight.
Oh, absolutely. Are you not
entertained? I am going to be setting up this music room so that everyone gets some headphones, play some music, do some jammy jams. You're welcome to come over.
Oh, you're doing that now, so if you're watching, come on over.
Help me
play some music.
Do some jammy jams.
What should we play?
I don't know.
I said we. I inserted myself into your
anything to take these blues away.
That's right.
Let's play the blues.
We can play some blues. I like that.
All right.
That makes me happy.
Love you all out there.
I'm Shawn Warner.
I'm Nicholas Nieblis.
Oh! Oh shit! I think we're unplugged.
Oh,
Do you hear
there's
it?
no music.
I'm not
I don't
hearing
hear
it.
any music at all.
Oh, snap.
Where's it?
I was working there.
Plug somewhere.
Maybe right over here. Yeah. We plugged in there.